The next potential breakout star for Georgia Tech, it's not going to be on the offensive side of the ball. It's going to be on the defensive line. We're going to talk about that today and more. And it's a name that people aren't talking about enough. Stay tuned. What's going on, everybody, man? Welcome back to the show, man. Shout out to all my Georgia Tech fans, man. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. I hype up the video, man. I'm going to have content throughout the year for you guys, also every single week. So stay tuned, man. You never know when I'm going to drop, so turn on those post notifications, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hype up the video. And if you guys want, join and become a member today. Any insight I'm hearing, man, I will send to you guys, man. Much love as always. And make sure you guys hype up the video as well. But let's get into the particulars. Let's talk about the next guy that's up for Georgia Tech, right? And most people are going to look at like, well, Najeh, you got Braden Manley, right? You got AJ Hoffler. Excuse me. You got some of these guys that people were talking about. You guys see me a lot on Georgia Tech. You're like, oh, Noah Carter, Jordan Walker. But there's a name people aren't talking about enough when we talk about the next potential star for Georgia Tech, right? And obviously, I think one of the stars will be Tay Harris, right? That's not who we mentioned today. Phoenix Vaughn has a chance also to be a star. I think the next star is on the defensive line. And it's important because they're going to need some help on the defensive interior. Georgia Tech was putrid last year, y'all. Number 88, I think, run defense-wise last year under Blake Gideon, right? So simply that unit has to be better. Now, they got veterans in there. They got youth in there. And I think for the first time, this defensive line has depth. They can go 16, 18 deep when we talk to Coach Kyle Pope and we talk to Coach Jess Simpson, right? And that's advantageous because then you can rotate guys. You can stay fresh. Remember, you know, long drives, 10-plus play drives, offensive line is going to eventually wear out a little bit because it's the same five every single time. You can rotate and get fresh whenever you need to. And Georgia Tech, the biggest issue has been, guys, when they rotate or they bring guys in, there's been a precipitous drop-off, right? Whether you rotate in, so when Jordan Vandenberg wasn't on the field or Akila Stone wasn't on the field, the next guys that come in couldn't generate anything. So then it was a drop-off of, okay, we did good on our first or second down, but then third down, we need a closer. We don't have that, right? Or this certain down, we need a closer. We don't have a guy that can go there and get to the quarterback or create havoc. I feel like for the first time, Georgia Tech finally has it on the defensive line, and they have guys you can lean on and you can depend on that's going to make a difference and make the plays necessary in order for this team to be good defensively. And I've even said it. Y'all thought I've been crazy. I said this is a top 25 projected defense to me because you have a new scheme in Jason Seymour, attack style aggressive. They're basically pinning their ears back, and you're no longer just being passive and waiting and trying to go up and make a tackle. Same for the defensive back room as well in the secondary, can make plays on the ball. But that also is going to help the defensive line because instead of you trying to, hey, let me stop this, let me stop that, I could just be have sound gap integrity. I can create havoc and not have to worry. I know if I miss something or if it's a big gap, my linebackers are going to clean it up. They're no longer moving passively. So that's going to make a big difference. So who is the star that Najeh Wilkins is talking about today that's next potentially for Georgia Tech? Is this guy right here who will be a starter this season for the Yellow Jackets. And I'm talking about Christian Garrett. I think he is next up. And the reason I believe that, even with an article on him that we'll talk about the details here in a second, is he's taking it seriously. He's no longer a tweener. Last year, guys, y'all, he was a tweener. He was playing defensive line, and he was playing also edge rusher. They have fully fulfilled that now, and he is strictly just defensive line in the interior. And they need dogs there. Now, I think they got a dog in Tawfiq Thomas there, but now you get another dog alongside him, and you get a young thoroughbred in Christian Speakman that's going to be able to help out a lot, too, in rotation. Garrett is a guy, I think, that not only can help you in a run-stopping game and be gap sound and know how to move towards the football and take away different running lanes, but he also can create pressure. Now, this guy don't need to have a 7.5, 10-sack season. If he can have 5.5 on the interior, that does work. 40-plus tackles, he's had a really good season. He just has to be able to stop those gaps and being able to plug up the run because they're going to face some good teams on the run. Clemson, Louisville, right? Virginia Tech's going to run that ball with Marcellus Hawkins. You need guys like this. And I think the biggest difference that coaches talked about is he's taking his body seriously, right? From when he came in, even though he was taking his body seriously then, he's naturally more fit to be the defensive lineman that he is today, right? He looks better. He looks leaner. He looks stronger. He looks faster. He looks quicker. All that stuff makes a difference for Christian Garrett as a player who wants to take that next big jump in his career And it's right there for him, right? Obviously, this coaching staff believes in him. Obviously, they're very confident. And now he's obviously going to be a starter for Georgia Tech moving forward. And I think he has a very bright future ahead. And he's going to be a guy I think makes a big difference. And remember, this was a big flip for Georgia Tech a few cycles ago from Georgia to Georgia Tech. Played for the Wolverines, came down from Athens, basically in Prince Avenue Christian, to play for Georgia Tech. Now this is his moment to shine. And again, the reason why, and I'm going to show this article to you guys, I think the difference is this, right? He talked about kind of the position change, right? Said it definitely helped me just get a better at one position. And I'm just learning one position and getting good at it. Focus on the details, focus on getting all the little things right. So just help better my game in the team, right? He also said, first time being fully healthy. Yeah, it's been fun, right? Christian Garrett is probably a really 100% healthy, right? First time he's been at Georgia Tech coming off a high school injury. I think that's a big deal. Christian's body has completely changed in the last 4 or 5 months. I think a year ago this time he was in the 250s and he's gained a lot of muscle, man. He's a good looking kid. Obviously, he's had a position change. We're playing him inside and he's a big man who's an athlete. And those are the guys that I like. I love his athleticism, said defensive line coach Jeff Simpson. Athleticism, right? That's massive. Again, because, right, one of the big things, right, a lot of guys, you look at the defensive line interior, like they're big, they're strong. But then if you couple that with athleticism, being the ability to move, the ability to squeeze through lanes and things like that, it makes a difference. So you're not just looking at a guy that's first or second down. This could be your closer on those third down situations. You need to create pressure. You need to collapse that pocket. You need to make it tough and muddy up different looks for the quarterback who's trying to escape or trying to see different things. If you're already in his lap, then he's in a tough, binding situation. You got to figure out how to get out of it. That is what Christian Garrett is going to be able to bring to the table for Georgia Tech. So I believe with that, him getting into his body, the complete change now, being 100% healthy, that makes a difference, right? He also said his ability and understanding of how to play on the interior. Playing inside is very different from playing on the edge. The blocks that you get, where the blocks come from, sitting on 600 pounds of a double team, right? He's going to face more of those this year, right? We get a lot of hard jobs we do inside. He has not resisted that. He is owning it. Every day you can see that he looks like he's took a step today. It's just fun to watch. Like you can tell from the look in his eye. He wants to be great. He wants to be better every day. He's not perfect, It's ebbs and flows with every young player. But, man, he's on the right trajectory. His arrow is up right now. I'm excited about it. Tells you all you need to know, right? That is his defensive line coach, literally Jeff Simpson, telling you pretty much why you should keep an eye on him, why he can emerge as the next star for Georgia Tech on the defensive line. And they've had it. Like, you look at the last few years, they've always had a guy on the interior that's really good, right? Now it's like, okay, who's next up? This guy's young, redshirt freshman. He should still have, I think, 4 years or 4 to 5 years of eligibility after this. You can build your defensive line around this guy for a long time to come, right? Because Talfik's probably going to be gone after this year, right? Some of these guys that came in as transfers are going to probably be gone. This could be your next cornerstone piece moving forward for Georgia Tech, especially if he has a really good season. You're looking at a potential guy that could be, that's our all-ACC caliber guy. That's our guy that's the star of our defensive line. He's a closer. He's a finisher. That is exactly what you need if you Georgia Tech. So I think it makes all the difference in the world. I'm putting y'all up on game early, I'm saying, of a guy that people need to watch about, talk about, lean about. And if he's good this season, Georgia Tech has a chance to potentially shock some people and really make a difference, right? Because if we're going to improve this defense, it starts with the defensive line. It really does. If the defensive line is not good, it's just not going to work, right? So that has to be improved, and it starts with this guy right here and among many others, right? So it's going to be a big season for him. It's going to be interesting to watch. They got some big games, Tennessee, Colorado, Georgia, right? Louisville, Virginia Tech. We talk about some of those big games this year. If this guy can have the season that he's capable of having, look the hell out. So I'm putting y'all on game, man. I think Christian Garrett could be potentially the next star for the Yellow Jackets, especially on the defensive line. And he has a bright future ahead, and I think he's taking it serious. And I think he's a guy that wants the ball out, wants to put this team on the map, and wants to help this team take the next step forward in his career and also for the Yellow Jackets, potentially even get into an ACC title game. So you heard it here first. I think Christian Garrett is next in line. All right. Now, I know what to do, man. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, happy the video. Let me know some other content and things you guys want to discuss. Underrated players, whatever it is, man. I'm trying to grow and connect with y'all. I like to hit everything. Like I said, my Georgia Tech fan base is crazy on here. I always run up my videos no matter what. You know what I'm saying? But I do want to connect with some other fan bases too, like Tennessee and Miami, some of those other ones as well, man. So let me know content y'all want to see, man. I'm trying to cover it all. But appreciate you guys always tuning in, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. And remember, as always, peace and love.